Hello everyone, I'm Drake, like the Dragon out the Rapper, and I'm finally back and I'm playing another demo of the game called Call Me Under. It's supposed to be kind of creepy, eldritch horrors, the river Styx, a lot of hot creatures. So I guess let's see what's up. Ooh. I guess the human? Is our only option? The human, having recently arrived from the surface, you find yourself thrust into the capable hands and employment of Penelope Sinclair, editor of the Styx Journal, but most significantly, leader of Scott and Sinclair investigations. Your past is shady, but your convictions are nothing but a memory here in Styx. Call it a much-needed new beginning, if you will, a second chance to start somewhere fresh where nobody knows your name. You have a job, a place to live, and a host of shit that's about to be thrown into your lap. Here's hoping your sea legs are steady because life is about to get real choppy. Setting into a new city can be a real headache. I just want to read what it says on the left. It says, fresh blood from the surface, a few prior convictions, but nothing I can't work with. Reason for Annie acquiring them is unknown, but seemingly a decent decision on her part. My first impressions are good, but I'll refrain from forming any solid opinions until after we've gotten into the nasty shit. Here's hoping it works out better than the last time, P. Sinclair. So let's select a character. Tell us your first name. Let's be Drake. Oh. Now my surname. Now it's, I don't know, Shu. I don't care. Choose your pronouns. I'm gonna go with she, her. The City of Styx, November 1958. The incessant tap, tap, tap of the typewriter's mechanical keys beneath my fingertips is the only thing keeping me awake tonight. That and the stench of smoke and booze wafting from Penny's office. It's only 7. She'll have one hell of a hangover tomorrow. Again. I sigh and glare at the fresh sheet before me. I'm only a sentence in, and it's already nonsense. I angrily yank at the roller and tap on, the arms whirling against the inky black ribbon. It's gonna be a late one. I sit back and stare at the words on the page, words I've seen typed out by my and many others' hands too many times to count in the short time I've been here. Missing, kidnapped, presumed dead, dismembered. I hear a low whistle and turn to find Penny staring at me, sticking her head around the doorframe. Hey, you done yet? I don't have all night, you know. Thought you were supposed to be fast. I'm on it. Only one more section to type up. She rolls her eyes and disappears back into Scott and Sinclair investigations. Penny is the editor of the Styx Journal and also private investigator when night falls. She's relentless and brilliant, but she's hard to read. Her work partner, Annie Scott, is one of the many citizens of Styx who went missing recently, and I don't think Penny has slept since, and it looks like I'll be joining her with the amount of work I've got on my plate. I didn't think that taking a job at a newspaper would end up with me elbow deep in murder cases and disappearances, but hey, wherever the tides take me, I guess. I press play on the tape recorder and get ready to type. But what did you see? You say you blacked out after she was taken. You must have caught a look at the guy's face. That's the thing, though. That wasn't no guy. That wasn't no human. Yeah, you said that already, but it isn't like we have much in the way of humans down here, so help me out. Be more specific. It wasn't one of them either, it was... I quickly stopped the tape and watched the water in my glass ripple, the whole room trembling. I gripped the edge of the desk to steady myself, but it stops after a few seconds, still long enough to throw me off. Another quake, the second today. Is it me, or did that one feel more violent? I turn and find Peggy tugging on her coat, a cigarette hanging haphazardly between her lips. She's laden with case files as usual, and I idly wonder if this woman ever quits. She doesn't seem too bothered by the fact that the ocean is shaking us like fish in a bowl. But then I guess that's exactly what we were, or are. Should I be concerned? Nah, don't fret. She waves me off as she breezes over my desk and yanks the paper free from the typewriter, squinting at it and sighing when she sees it isn't done. But she adds it to the messy pile she has hitched under her arm anyway. These things happen. It's just the nature of sticks, my friend. You'll get used to it. Now go home, get some rest, alright? I need you here bright and early tomorrow. Oh, and lock up for me, would you? She doesn't wait for me to respond, and the front door swiftly slams shut behind her. I rub my eyes and will the tiredness that blurs the edges of my vision to disappear. I just want to get through this damn interview so I can go home. Then it happens again. Shake, rattle, roll, another quake. This time it's vicious. No gentle warning or soft rumble, just full bore, light swinging shit falling to the floor and cracking against the linoleum, books falling from the shelves. My desk jumps across the room like it has a mind of its own. Fear consumes me, and I launch myself from my chair, stumbling towards the door and reaching for the handle like a lifeline. I tear it open, the walls screaming around me, the roar of what sounds like a thunder rattling in my ears. I'm so sorry. My mouth works quicker than my brain sometimes. I escape into the atrium, and my eyes fall upon chaos. Case in point, hordes of people run from the surrounding businesses, bars, and lounges. There's a stampede coursing across the main floor, and all I can think is that I can't believe I've only been here a few weeks. And here I am, watching it all fucking end. That's when the screaming begins. At first, I think the sound might be coming from me, but the chorus of wailing that fills my head can't possibly be human. It sounds like a wounded animal, a death knell. It chills me to my core and leaves the hairs on my arms and the back of my neck standing to attention, saluting whatever terrible thing is making that damn noise. I close my hands over my ears and try to shut it out, try to push forward and get the hell out of here. I look up as I run and notice that the glass that encases us is holding, so at least today might not be the day I die a watery death. But then, a flash. A violent, blinding light, the edges of my vision blurring, shifting. And then everything goes quiet. Not a sound, not a whisper. I stand still and close my eyes tight enough that it hurts, pain blooming bright behind my eyelids. Next come the voices. Voices that aren't mine. Voices that echo and shift. A terrible cacophony of crying, wailing, laughing. Then my mind fills with the vision of a face. Blue eyes, hair as black as the night. He stares down at his hands, and every inch of them is painted a terrible and unmistakable crimson. He hot, though. They shake, his long fingers trembling, as he drops them to his side in what looks like the feet. He's looking right at me. He sees me. I snap back into the waking world with a painful jolt, my temples throbbing, and then comes a total silence. Clarity, the calm after a terrible storm. I look around and my vision is clear again, No blurring, no bloody stranger staring directly into my soul. I take a deep breath and shake my head, blinking myself free of whatever that was, and I look down just to check that I'm still whole. Something catches my eye, a flash of red in the neon lights. I look down at my hands and find them covered in blood. What the? That's when everything turns to black. Awake early, and I don't remember how I got home, but I do know that my sleep was fitful and plagued with nightmares. Nightmares of bloodied palms, of unfamiliar faces, of the sounds of something dark and terrible calling out to me. It's a wonderful day here at Styx. The streets are bustling and alive with citizens going about their day, even at this horrendously early hour, and yet everything unsurprisingly feels a little off. Still can't recall how I got home last night, but I do remember standing at this very spot and having what I can only assume was a total mental breakdown. I look down at my hands and find them clean, much to my relief. It's only the 20th time I've checked since I woke up with the world's most horrific headache that just won't seem to quit, and the terrible feeling that there's something serious going on inside this brain of mine. Steeling myself, I look down at the address that I tore from the notice board outside the Vanguard Lounge yesterday morning after it caught my eye, which seems kind of like a sign right now. As if I anticipated something like this would happen without realizing it. Dr. Archimedes Tsushida? We will maintain your discretion with utmost care for proportional payment. He sounds legit, right? After the night I had, I can't say I'm in the position to be too picky with finding the right practitioner. Discretion is highly desired. I'm not about to draw too much attention to myself when I'm fresh off the submarine. And so, into the depths of Asphodel I go. The names are definitely something. And now I have an unbearable headache. Hello? Call me Archie, nods, his eyes still firmly fixed upon the clipboard in his lap. He's writing, but I don't know whether he's writing something related to me or if he's just, doodling flowers or whatever. I don't have the energy to care, and my patience is wearing thin with every pulse of my heartbeat, which sends a throbbing lace of pain through my temples. Sorry. It feels worse than if someone had decided to stuff cotton in my brain, like a sponge with a giant merciless hand squeezing it over and over. But I've paid to be here, and there's a shelf of interesting bottles filled with questionable things staring at me behind Dr. Tushida's beautiful office desk. I guess I'd better behave long enough for him to give me something for this pain, and then I can be out of here. This is a nice office, too. He's already apologized profusely because his clinic downstairs is undergoing renovations, so he has to see me up here. But you won't find me complaining about sitting on fine leather. Sitting on leather feels kind of gross. Get all sticky and stuck to it. Ugh. But yeah, damn, that's a nice fireplace back there. And you hadn't been drinking? I didn't last night, no. Though I considered it this morning. If your office had been hard to find, I might have slipped into lists and taken my chances with a whiskey bottle instead. Why do you think I picked this spot for the clinic? I snort reflexively, then squeeze my eyes shut when my head throbs again. This is getting annoying. Dr. Tsushida gets out his plush chair, and as I hoped he would, he opens the cabinet full of mystery bottles, takes out a few, then rummages for something from another, lower shelf. With a questionable smile, he hands me a shot glass full of some vicious-looking, luminous green liquid. Ooh. How bad is this gonna hurt, or don't suppose you'd serve this in a prettier glass? I grimace at the offering. In my experience, the nasty stuff always works best, and this definitely fits the bill. But can I trust this guy? How bad is this gonna hurt? After the first 3 or so seconds, you'll see that it's worth it. Well then, cheers? I take a deep breath, brace myself, then knock it back in one. It's bitter. It doesn't burn, but I might have preferred that to the horrendous taste slithering down my throat. I slammed the shot glass down onto the desk and gestured desperately for something, anything else to drink. Archie thrusts a glass of water into my hands. Is he smirking? Am I about to die? The water, thankfully, washes the horrific aftertaste out of my mouth. See? 3 seconds, like I said. Felt much longer than that. My head is also still throbbing dully, now with the added effects of ringing ears and extra misery of having ingested something that nasty. The bottle of whiskey I've been daydreaming about is feeling less like a treat and more like a necessity at this point. It was 3 seconds. Don't worry, I counted. He cheerfully takes the water from my hand and nudges me to relax in the admittedly very comfortable chair, his smile beatific and strangely reassuring. Now, since you took it orally, it's going to require a little while to fully take effect. Is there an anal option, Doctor? Does that mean I get to fall asleep because I could do with the rest? No. Then why do you give your patients such an inviting chair? Usually I don't. The chair is for personal guests. I suppose getting my clinic wrecked by ungrateful bastards does benefit some. You're the 5th person to comment about that chair. You get that many patients? He sighs deeply. Probably too many. Others are also happy to just pay me a fee and talk my ears off. Then I'd say you're doing a nice job stealing the bartender's business from down the street. Don't tell him that, or I've no doubt my tab will find itself inflating mysteriously. Oh, and since you're here. Archie ducks behind his desk, emerging a moment later with what looks like a stack of tapes. Suddenly I have a feeling. You are the Drake Shoe, correct? Penny's new, recruit? Does Miss Sinclair know everybody in this city? If she does, I wouldn't be surprised, but she did tell me specifically that her new hire is going to be helping her transcribe some important tapes that I promised her. I would have stopped by to deliver them myself this morning, but here I am, held up with a patient complaining of a headache. Talk about lucking out, huh? Hold out my hand for the tapes, but Archie tuts and shakes his head. He opens a different cabinet in the room and pulls out a roll of twine. He then starts sorting through the tapes and tying them together. Were they all just in a pile in your drawer until this morning, or did you forget to finish this final step? That terrible headache of yours must have gone away by now with all of that sass out of your mouth. It's then that I realize that it has, actually. Not completely, but the discomfort is so minimal that I don't notice much of anything aside from the fact my head feels weirdly heavy. Like it's full of secrets or something. Dr. Toshida. Archie. Archie, do you know anything about the murders and disappearances? Archie says nothing. He finishes tying up the tapes in neat piles and produces a brown paper bag to drop them into. He hands it to me. No, I don't, and it bothers me a great deal. Now go home. Rest up. I smile wryly. Not likely after you've dropped all this work into my lap. Just tell Penny it's doctor's orders that you get some rest. She can take it up with me, if she feels like it. It's been a long while since I've seen her anyway. Right, thanks. See you around, I guess. Not if you're lucky. I have a weird feeling in my gut that I won't be lucky, that I'll be seeing more of Dr. Tushita. Before I head back into the office, I get a weird desire to check out the strange little shop that's caught my eyes more than a few times since I landed here. Nestled between Psyche's Luck Casino and the beauty salon sits the Killing Moon, its colorful window full of charms, oddities, and multiple posters insisting that the incredible Eve can tell me my fortune and what I ate for breakfast. I wonder if this Eve could offer me a little insight into what the hell is going on in this head of mine. I lean and take a closer look at one of those posters. Past, present, future, the ultimate master of divination with a direct link to the spiritual plane and supernatural regions beyond. She kind of looks like Florence from Florence and the Machine, doesn't she? Interesting. Well, I guess it can't hurt to try, right? Into the unknown. The bell above the door jingles quietly as I step inside, and I'm immediately hit with the overpowering smell of incense and a maelstrom of scented candles. Strange music plays in the record player that sits in the corner, and the shop appears to be totally vacant. I really hope that this music isn't copyrighted. I peruse the shelves and run a finger over the jagged point of a crystal, leaning in to stare at the whirls of different purples. You're a curiosity, aren't you? A more precious bauble than any in this shop. And look, the tides have washed you right in. I turn quickly and watch as a fiery-haired wisp of a human in a lace gown, the same color as their pale skin, approaches, from where I'm not entirely sure. Amethyst. Excellent for migraines and nausea. They reach for the crystal and cradle it in their palms, closing their eyes, their copper lashes fluttering. It's almost like they're whispering to it. Right. Hey, Eve, you okay there? I mean, how are y'all this pretty? Another customer approaches, their golden eyes flicking between this Eve and myself curiously. They offer me a lopsided smile, one that looks almost apologetic. No idea what voice to give them. Like they differ much anyway. Eve exhales sharply and opens her eyes. Oh, Adrian. They turn to me and eagerly press the crystal into my hands. Forgive me, I get a little carried away. The other customer laughs awkwardly, still apparently trying to break the weird tension that seems to be sucking the life out of the room, and then Eve sets their sights on them. One moment. Eve scans the shelves, their hands in the air as if asking for silence, and they laugh wickedly when they apparently spot what they were searching for. They shove a crystal at the other customer's chest. This one is lavender and gold. Ametrin for clarity, good for scaring away procrastination, and they sniff the air. Other unsavory things. The golden-eyed stranger's cheeks flare pink, and they laugh nervously, looking anywhere other than myself and Eve. They reach into their bag and retrieve a wad of money to wave at Eve, apparently eager to give it to the over-curious shopkeep to shut them up. I think I might do the same. As Eve quickly disappears behind the cash desk, the stranger turns to me and scrambles to hold the ridiculously oversized crystal in one hand, offering me the other. Adrian. Sorry about that. Well, them. They're sweet, just a little intense, you know? Yeah, I get that. So, you're new around here? That obvious? Adrian shrugs sheepishly. Anyway, here lies your first lesson. Eve will sell you a crystal that costs a week's rent, and all it'll do is give you hives. You can't trust a soul around here, especially not when they smile at you. Then, completely lacking any irony, Adrian offers me a huge sharp-toothed grin. That's lovely. Before I can reply, Eve loudly clears their throat, their eyes widening when we both turn to stare at them. Adrian clears their throat and glances down at the crystal Eve deposited in their palm. Clarity, you said. Eve nods enthusiastically, their skinny fingers clasped as if they were about to drop to their knees and pray. I have a strange sense that you might need some, yes? Adrian exhales, glancing onto the atrium almost wistfully. They smile as they deposit their money into the counter, but that smile doesn't reach their eyes. I think you might be right, yeah. Eve looks at me expectantly. And you? If I got the money, I'm gonna buy a crystal. I sigh and reach into my pockets. Can't hurt, right? Eve nods, reaching out to count the coins from my palm. Too many for a pretty rock, if you ask me. I'm sure it will brighten up your place, right? I nod and smile again, and Adrian is clearly just playing along, as regretful of their unwanted item as I am, it would appear. Oh, we didn't catch your name. It's Drake. Eve shakes the hand I offer them with both of theirs, smiling sweetly until they're not. They pull away quickly, almost as if I shocked them, their skin turning a shade paler. They glance at Adrian for a split second before they compose themselves and offer an obviously forced smile. It shakes at the edges. Right, well, it's very nice to meet you, Drake. Something tells me it wasn't. Now, please excuse me, I have a reading in a moment, so I need to go prepare. The spirits won't talk to themselves. They wave once, and then they're gone. The curtain that separates the shop from the back room swishing violently. Huh, that was weird. I raise a brow at them. Weirder than usual. Glad I'm not the only one who noticed. I better dash too. Nothing personal, I'll just have to get to work. It was a pleasure to meet you, Drake. Really, and if you're ever in my neck of the water, then stop by my studio sometime. I'm always looking for faces to paint. Their cheeks flush as they hand me a small business card. Adrian Navarre, Portraits, Fine Art, Advertisements. Ooh. An artist, huh? You flatter me. Adrian shrugs and tucks a strand of their long hair behind their ear, heading for the door. Always nice to make new friends, right? Styx is a big place, distinctly lacking honest folks, and something about you tells me you're one of the good ones. So stop by sometime. See you around. I wave and watch them go, standing in the middle of the killing moon, feeling heavier than I did before I entered, crystal notwithstanding. When I walk into the office, I find Penny sitting at my desk. She glares at me over the top of the typewriter, her eyes glued to me as I make my way over to the desk and deposit the bag of Archie's tapes in front of her. This better be good, considering you've been gone almost half of your shift. I can't promise it'll be good, but they're from Dr. Tushida. He said he was planning on dropping them by. Penny's blue eyes light up as she eagerly dips a hand inside the bag, counting the contents with a growing smile. That son of a bitch, I knew he'd come through. While she's occupied with whatever juicy content Archie was supposedly provided us, I notice a new missing person poster has been added to the case board. My heart sinks when I look at the grainy picture. That face. Ooh. Missing. We are seeking information regarding the disappearance of this individual, last seen in the Asphodel area of the city. An extensive investigation is being conducted to locate him. Name, Castor, Egan. Description, male. Birthplace, Athens, Greece. Blah, blah, blah. Should you... blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. Interesting. I reach out unconsciously, almost as if compelled, and I feel sickness coiling in my gut. Like I know this man. Like he means something. But I've never seen him before. Of that much I'm sure. Not in a way that it would make me feel like this, anyway. Oh yeah, I need to brief you on this one. Penny's voice snaps me from my daze, and as she flicks the poster, leaning against a board with a resigned sigh. Jesus, I really need to take my time. His name is Egan Castor. His brother came to my apartment after the quake in a mad panic. Apparently he disappeared last night under suspicious circumstances, but that's all I managed to get out of the crazy bastard before he ran off. Men. I stare at her, not quite able to bring myself to respond. The face on the poster is still drawing me in, urging me to look. Penny tilts her head curiously and frowns at me. Earth the Drake, you're in there, champ? You look a little peaky. I nod vacantly, plastering a smile across my lips. I just had a bad night. No sleep, headache. Must have been the quake. Huh. Yeah, you're still adjusting, I suppose. Anyway, let me tell you about this Castor guy. Get your typing fingers ready. It's a long story. I dutifully take my seat at my desk, slipping a fresh piece of paper between the rollers, and for the next 2 hours, Penny recounts the tale of Blue and Egan Castor, and why the latter, going missing, holds some degree of significance in the long and winding web that Styx seems to be weaving around us. Keep getting tongue-tied. Apologies. I'm gonna need a drink. Yeah. It didn't take much for Penny to persuade me to join her in her nightly journey to the Vanguard. Her arms once again laden with case files and paperwork. The woman never quits. Although I'd find myself with a pile of my own tonight, both of us sit at the bar, papers strewn out in front of us, while the cute blonde bartender keeps her glasses full. The lounge is packed, the air thick with a layer of smoke like it has its very own atmosphere. I still don't know if I believe that he's missing. If you meet his brother, you understand why. I'd want to get the hell away from him, too. But you said they seem close, so why would he just disappear with no good reason? Penny shrugs and stubs his cigarette out in the ashtray before her, quickly lighting another. I guess that's for you to find out, huh? She smiles and exhales, smoke hitting my face. Right. Then the lights dim, and a single spotlight illuminates the stage at the far end of a lounge, a figure appearing in its bright, unforgiving beam. The music swells, a cool, lazy rhythm, something that lure you to sleep if you weren't hopped up on the thrill of simply being here. Even under the thrum of the bass, I hear Penny's breath hitch. Heck, mine does too, because the silhouette is a damn fine one. All dangerous curves and a walk that tells you that whoever it is knows their appeal and how to work it. I lean in to whisper in Penny's ear, my eyes still on the stage. Who is that? She swats me away without so much as offering me a glance, totally fixated. Shh, no talking. And then the songbird begins to sing. Red lips, tight curls, eyes as cold as the sun, and that voice, like honey dripping and smooth. She's compelling enough to make me believe she's singing about me, for me and only me. With the way everyone else in the room is staring at her, I gather they feel the same. To say I'm transfixed would be an understatement. Though something swiftly pulls me from my daze, a terrible chill rolls down my spine, a full-body shudder that has goose flesh prickling upon my skin. I feel the same way I did last night, like I'm about to get lost in a dream, vision, whatever the fuck that was. Then I see him, the mystery man, bringer of the world's biggest pain in the ass of a migraine. He stands at the opposite end of a bar, all tall and looming. Maybe he's a witch, something haunting and dark, a creature like the ones they say wander sticks at night if you get too close to the shadows. The bluest eyes I've ever seen focus in on me like he's heard everything I'm thinking about him. He scowls at me from behind the curtain of ink-black hair, and I can hear my own heartbeat rushing in my ears, the music and the songbird's voice a mere echo. Like I'm underwater, but in a more literal sense. The shadow man narrows his eyes, and I decide there's definitely something other about him. Something both missing and too much to fathom. He averts his gaze quickly, like he's been shocked out of our little staring contest, and the room seems to shudder, my ears popping, and then everything is back to normal. Only then do I register Penny snapping her fingers in front of my face, and if looks could kill. Hey, you drunk already or something? I shake my head because my tongue feels too heavy for me to form words, and Penny simply sighs, resigning herself to the fact that I'm terrible company, I assume. I would feel bad if it wasn't for the existential crisis I seem to be having. Penny suddenly stiffens beside me, her back going ramrod straight, and her unlit cigarette almost falling from between her lips. She scrambles to catch it, and I hear a husky laugh right behind me. Penny looks up, her eyes are wide, and her cheeks beat red. Fuck. I turn to find the culprit, the one who apparently has the ability to render my usually unshakable boss useless. And there stands the songbird, even more beautiful up close. Penelope, I see you've brought the office here with you as always. Should you really be drinking on the job? Penny merely scowls and angrily fumbles for her lighter, refraining from responding. The songbird simply sighs, shrugging at me with pursed lips like she's used to this kind of reception. And who is this? Another of Miss Sinclair's victims? Her perfect red lips curl up at the corners as she offers me a hand. Penny swears quietly under her breath and finally gets a flame out of the lighter, her relief apparent. Not a victim, just an employee. I guess I am, yeah. I should probably bite my tongue, but this woman appears to be eager to tease, and I'm all about that particular train, especially if it makes Penny blush like that again. Drake's shoe, and I guess you could say I'm her victim, yeah. The songbird laughs heartily and takes my hand, shaking it firmly. That's the spirit. Glad to see she finally found someone with a sense of humor. I'm Callie Seymour. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Drake. Likewise. Screw you both. Callie lays it on thick and pouts, fluttering her lashes at Penny. Oh, come on now. Don't be like that, sweetheart. I actually need to steal away your boss, Drake. I hope you don't mind, but it's a private matter. How private are we talking? You said that the last time you talked my ear off about your bass player cheating on his wife for an hour. Time is money, Calliope. Don't give me that shit, Pen. I have solid information. Is that intriguing enough to make me taking up your oh-so-precious time worthwhile? Penny clears her throat and begins to gather up the papers she'd earlier strewn across the countertop. Stuffing them back in their files and then under her arm, she stands, throwing me an apologetic glance. Call it a night. I need you in early tomorrow to make up for the time we lost today, alright? Sure thing, boss. She actually smells at that, and I feel like I got awarded a gold star. A for effort, but then she inhales sharply and squares her shoulders, her gaze meeting Callie's as she pushes past me. 30 minutes, max. I need an early night, too. Huh, that's rich. And then Penny is off, pushing through the crowd and heading who knows where. Callie huffs and begins to follow her on towering red heels. But she stops, spins, and offers me a polite wave and a wink. It was nice to meet you. Before I get a chance to respond, they're both gone, engulfed by the sea of swaying people. It's then I feel that shift again. Eyes on me, staring, burning into the back of my head. I turn slowly. An attempt at being subtle, I suppose, but something tells me that the Shadow Man is expecting my attention. Sure enough, he's looking right at me when I find him at the opposite end of the bar. He still has his coat on and clutches an almost empty drink like a lifeline. I slide into the empty seat beside him, and my temples ache, but I put it down to a long day and the fact that the atmosphere in here is almost, or at least 80% cigarette smoke.
You know, I'm having kind of a bad day.
Oh shit, and he sounds real nice too. He laughs bitterly and lifts his tumbler, squinting as he glares through the amber liquid.
Well, weak.
He slams it back, finishing the drink in one. He places the glass on the bar with a loud slam, his knuckles bleeding white as he grips it like he means to break it.
So tell me, what exactly do you want? I keep catching you staring, and I'm not looking for any company tonight, if that's what you seek.
I mean, no, but thank you for thinking of me in that way. I'll put that in the bank. It isn't every day you see a guy in a painful, seemingly prophetic vision, and then suddenly he's real and sitting right in front of you. Shame he seems like kind of an asshole. I clear my throat, and the weight of his glare is heavy enough to make my skin crawl. I saw you yesterday. He raises a brow at me and then laughs, a dark chuckle.
I don't think you did. I was a little preoccupied.
His words drip with disdain, and the bartender walks over to us, bottle in hand. He refills Shadow Man's tumbler with a healthy dose of whiskey without question.
So, where exactly was this apparent sighting?
In my dreams? I grimace. Well, it's complicated. He's frowning now, his expression cold enough to chill me to the bone. That's when I know it has to be him. It's those eyes like there's nothing behind them. I lean in close and drop my voice. The quake, while it was happening, had a vision or something. He sits a little straighter and clears his throat, his head flipping around to see if anyone's watching us, I assume. Then he's leaning in and staring me down, his voice pitched low. I feel like he's trying to find a weak spot, a kink in my non-existent armor.
I have a twin, you know. It could have been him, but I guess it depends on what you saw.
He raises his brows and I can't tell if he's playing around or if he's threatening me. The fact he seems unperturbed that I told him I had a magical vision is less than comforting. The Castor twins. You're one of them, the not missing one.
My name is Blue, and yeah, I'm the not missing one. Very observant of you.
I mean, you were covered in blood. You were covered in blood when I saw you. As if his face wasn't pale enough already, his skin drops a few shades, but quicker than he blanches, he finds his composure and has the gall to laugh in my face.
Did Sinclair put you up to this?
Penny? No, I haven't told her a thing. Blue surveys me again. A little harder this time, his gaze cutting deep.
What else did you see?
I shake my head, and Blue scoffs, rolling his bright eyes.
Brilliant. Just fan-fucking-tastic. This is all I need. As if I don't already have enough on my plate, you give me this, too.
I stare at him and try to figure out exactly who he's talking to. It certainly isn't me, and it certainly isn't anyone else I can see. That thought has the hairs on the back of my neck rising. Do you want to tell me what's going on here? You're apparently not at all shocked about what I thought was a pretty outlandish claim, and I'm feeling pretty damn lost. Blue downs his drink in one, grimacing as he swallows it. He hisses through clenched teeth and stands up, quick and dramatic enough that he startles me and everyone in our vicinity. Then he's reaching into his coat, fumbling for something. He pulls out a crumpled piece of paper and a pen, leaning on the bar as he scribbles something down. His fingers are stained with ink. I wonder that, if I stare enough, if the black will turn to red. He shoves the paper into my hands. It has addresses on it, in Greek and English. Church of Shadows. Aphrodite Meadows.
Find me here tomorrow night. And don't tell anyone, especially not Sinclair. Got it?
How do I know I can trust you? I think about what Adrian said about not trusting anyone here, especially if they smile at you. Blue scoffs and sticks his hands in his pocket. His shoulders hunch like he's trying to make himself look smaller, an impossible feat for a guy as tall as him. And while he certainly isn't smiling, I can't decide if that's a good sign or bad. Everything else about the situation points to the latter.
The last thing you have to worry about is trust right now.
It's ominous. He pauses and tilts his head, his bright eyes dragging over me.
I didn't catch your name, did I?
It's Drake. He narrows his eyes again, and I consider buying the city out of all its crosses, holy water too.
Tomorrow night. Be there when the lights dim.
I stuff the paper into my pocket. And you'll tell me what's going on? I lean in a little closer, my voice as low as it can go with all this noise. You'll tell me what's happening to me?
Oh, they'll tell you.
They? Blue laughs.
It doesn't rain here in paradise. It only pours. Welcome to Styx.
The bastard has the gall to offer me a dangerous, wicked smirk.
Sweet dreams.
You bet. And then he's gone, and with him goes my headache. It's like a weight has been lifted, the pressure turned off. Welcome to Styx indeed. To be continued. Ooh, I would like to see where the story goes. So the game is called Call Me Under, and this was the demo. Oh, starring Robbie Damon as Bluecaster. I'll let the credits roll. But yeah, that was cool. I like that. I wonder if they're gonna have any more people voicing the characters, because I think that would be nice. Especially like if you do videos on the game, gives your voice a little break. But yeah, that was freaking cool. And I am interested in seeing where the story goes and what the hell is going on, and yeah. Interesting. Obviously the characters are hot, but it's like a visual novel. I don't think it's a dating sim, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like a really cool mystery thing going on, and then you just get to eye some really wonderful he's, she's, and theys. See you in 2021, somewhere beyond the sea. Yeah, I really do like the representation I'm seeing so far of, you know, different, they're not supposed to be humans, but, you know, skin tones and pronouns. I like it. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me in this episode of How Much is Drake Gonna Fuck Up While She Reads and Stares at Sexy Cartoon Characters. I am assuming it was many times. And until the next one, have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.